And hello, hello. It's Rob here from Cruising on the High Seas. And today we're here with Eddie Lugo Studios and whoever else wishes to join us here live as we are having our month mic game. So I will share that link for anyone that would like to come up and join us. And we will be talking about anything that is related towards cruising, travel, or what pop up. But first things first, how's Mr. Eddie Lugo Studios?
They're good. Tired, but still living. Unfortunately for whoever, I'm still here kicking and having an okay weekend so far.
Okay.
I'm getting my pills right for the week.
Yeah. All right. So first, let's welcome people on into the chat. First one in was, of course, myself with the link. So feel free to come on over and join us over here on my channel to click on the link. Next in the chat was Cruising Chris. Welcome on in. Let me just get a little bit of that echo. Looks like I hear an echo. Go, all fixed.
Hello, retirement.
Next one is Sherman. Welcome on in. And that's everyone so far in the chat as we're at the bottom of the chat.
Hey, Chris.
Oh, and
Anthony on the move.
Anthony on the Move has just joined us.
All right. The guy that I'm gonna beat on 4.0.
You're gonna meet Anthony on 4.0?
Anthony, yeah, I'm gonna whoop his ass in the 4.0. Race car champion right here.
Right here. Voice one. The one that's not coming on 4.0. Because I traded a 7 for a 12.
Yeah, you wimped out. You knew you were gonna get whooped.
No.
I was gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit you so hard that you're gonna fly over the fence, right into the water.
Nah.
They're gonna rescue back in Canada when they rescue.
No, unfortunately, that's not the way it is, Eddie. I ain't the champ of the champ. But that's okay. They will always you can the best. But anyways, moving forward, one of the stories that we'll talk about, and I'm sure Eddie has some thoughts upon it, is Air Canada went on strike as of today.
Wow.
But, and that was for the flight attendants. But the government made a mandate that to go back to work.
Oh,
so what is Mr. Eddie Lugo's thoughts upon that?
What's the reason behind this strike?
The reason behind it was unfair paid. How's the word? Unfair non-paid work. So
for the
are doing their safety briefing, safety checks, all that stuff. Then right now they're not being paid for all that work.
Oh, okay. So I will tell you that depending on the what's that, Jeremy? Depending on how much of a clientele they have, how much people want to fly their line, they might work compromise and work it out. You know, I don't think being a stewardess is such a, you know, you have to deal with some people that are really obnoxious, and you gotta, you know, be well trained, and when it comes to safety hazards and all that stuff. But you know, it's not like a construction job. You know, it's not like working your butt off and you know, retail stuff like that. You know, it's a comfortable job. So you know, sometimes it's a balance. But sometimes when you sign up to do a job for an amount of money, you know, you need to stick to it. Now they start changing things. They better make changes on that, on this too, because a lot of companies try to get away with a lot of extra crap, you know, and they try to force you to do things their way without compensation. And sometimes that's when people say, "Wait a minute, there might be a lot of strength on it also." So that's why they're probably on strike. So I mean, more power to you. You win the fight. You win the fight. If you don't, it's not the job for you. It's time to move on and go do something else.
Yeah, because the issue I with it is with them being mandated to go back to work is it's the exact same comparison as when we had the issue with the Canadian postal workers. They went out just before Christmas this past year. And then they were made to go back to work, and we had a backlog of packages, letters, shipments, all.
Yeah.
So with them being mandated back to work, it's going to be the exact same comparison with Canada Post out, because Canada Post is already talking about going on strike once again.
Yeah.
So there is really no resolutions done. But I have seen a couple more people pop into the chat. Hello, Mr. Controversial Cruise Daddy. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. And Mr. Jeremy Boucher.
Boucher. Comment ça va?
If you'd like to join us, the link is in the chat on my side. And I see Mr. Rogers has joined us, so let's bring him on up. Hello, Mr. Ryan.
What's up? What's going on? El Rian. Yo.
Yo.
The way how I see it is them being.
So
it's only been a matter of time that they're going to go back on again.
Yeah.
But let's see what Mr. Ryan had. We were talking about
I was thinking about
Flakehands going on strike. And
then
being managed to get back.
Rob, let him talk.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's his show. I'm just a guest here.
Oh. Sometimes you gotta, you know, race and go on strike and, you know.
Yeah, no, I thought of you as soon as I saw that. I was like, Air Canada going on strike. And I was like, oh, that's going to be interesting, especially for you up there in your neck of the woods.
And especially, that's my next flight.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the other thought. I was like, oh, let's hope that they figure that out before you've got to fly to your next. They've got what? Mid-August, so they've got about a month and a half to work it out.
A month and a half, 2 months to work it out. Or we will have an issue with Booze 3.0.
Yep. But
the host
that's a very good jug of water you have there, Mr. Lugo.
It's not water. Something else here.
It's tequila.
Coffee? Tequila.
Come on in.
Hello, Mickey. How about you? What do you think about that strike?
I see it's gonna, if it did not get man work, I could see it would not only destroy the air travel business, but also interrupt business within airports.
Mhm.
Because the retails would see a major line. Welcome in, Mrs. Alice Lugo Studios. And I did see a comment up here I wanted to
With a flag.
name.
Sorry, I'm
Man-
also
man-
watching the Bucks preseason. I'm multitasking. I've got the spotlight up on this one, you guys, and then I got the Bucks game going on.
Anthony is asking about that Manor cruise from Noah. Looks interesting. Never been on a Royal in New Orleans. We should, get that one booked, as we will be celebrating Justin's 40th birthday on board. And I was actually just looking up a few days ago, where will we be on his birthday?
Nice.
And it was
Mariner's
interesting.
a great ship. I've only been on it. I only did a 2-day on it because I needed 2 more days for getting diamond on Royal. So I could get there before we did the World America last October. Or, God, I guess it's been more than last October, more like 2 years ago. But they just have a great layout, and Jamie's Italian is
Yes.
on that ship. It's one of the few ships that has Jamie's versus Giovanni's. So, and I like the desserts at Giovanni's, but the main dishes, especially the chicken parm, Jamie's puts it, it's just amazing for Jamie's.
Yeah, no, I will probably be looking heavily at booking Jamie's.
Yeah.
But no, the day we are for Justin's birthday, we will actually be in port at the port of Cozumel.
Ooh.
So you can probably catch him.
Which means you need to stay sober enough, be pseudo drunk, like be buzzed Rob versus drunk Rob, so you can get him back on the ship.
Exactly. It won't be much of a drunk Rob. Yep. And who's this? Cruising Chris M says, from what I understand about flight attendants, they are only paid for is closed till it is opened up. That is correct.
Yeah.
They don't get paid until that door closes and the door opens up again.
Which is why they're always like, please just sit down. Stop standing in the aisles and causing backups. Sit your butt
They
down, so
literally
we can close that door and we can get paid.
That's right.
They want to get that door closed as fast as they can.
Yep.
Yep, I had a friend from my old drum corps days that was a flight attendant on, God, what was it? AirTran? And then AirTran turned into JetBlue, and then Delta took JetBlue, right? Yeah. But so I used to try to fly on AirTran all the time and hope that he was doing the leg, because he would do the legs from Georgia to Florida all the time. And if I lucked out and was on one with him, he'd always bump me up to first class if there was a seat. Like after the door closed, if there was an empty seat in first class, he'd come back and get me. So Wayne, if you're ever watching, thanks for the first class.
You have a question in the chat.
Cruising Chris at M. So I marched 3 drum corps. I started with Spirit of Atlanta, and that was in 1993 and 1995. And then in 1994, I marched with Bluecoats out of Canton, Ohio. And then I took a summer off, and I did my age out year in 1997 with the Cavaliers out of Rosemont, Illinois.
Wow.
So yeah, I had four full years with the Corps.
And
So those of you who are watching this though don't really know what that is. It always pains me to say it's a marching band, but that's the easiest thing for someone to visualize is a marching band. But think of like an all-star marching band. You audition, and then it's like the top picks, and then you travel around the country sleeping on gym floors at night, practicing during the day, and then doing performances at night. Then you get on the bus and you rinse and repeat for 3 months. Builds character and endurance.
Oh yeah.
And cost a lot of money. The endurance is the big one because when it's 113 outside because you're in Arizona and you're marching on a blacktop where literally your shoes are melting, you don't know how much you can push until you're like, wow, I actually did a full rehearsal. You wouldn't know that by my size now that I was actually skinny enough to do that crap back then.
What are you talking about?
Right? I'm rather fluffy. I'm rather fluffy.
But yeah, no, personally, I think they should be paid for that work that they're doing. But how much to what it costs?
Yes. Holy crap! Really, Chris? Yeah, Jeff. Jeff was the Corps director when I marched, and Bruno was always there helping as well. So yeah, sorry, we know the same people. He helped a couple of years after I was there. Actually, Microbot, the center tenor player, we were both rookies at the same time in '97. I was a rook out, and it was Microbot's first year with the tenors, and then he moved to center because all of us aged out, and then he was center tenor drummer from '98 through 2000 when he aged out. Cool. Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Small
then
world.
Yeah, I know, right?
one of the
world.
other topics that I had lined up for today was, and of course, it's a serious topic. So, you know, if you're gonna have some drinks, like, please leave the keys at home and don't drive. But
Yeah.
a few years ago, I was talking to my nephew about smart cars. It's basically the self-driving assist. I said to him, well, question two then, can you drive things, jump into the vehicle and tell it to drive you home? Would that be allowed and not be classified as a DUI? Let's start off with Mr. Eddie. What do you think?
Dude, I don't drink at all. I used to be an alcoholic myself. It's been 26 years since I quit drinking. I am very against DUIs and all that. If you get busted, you're busted, and that's how I see things. So unfortunately, you don't want to hear my opinion. It's gonna be bad. So I mean, if you're
I'm
getting
sure,
yourself in a situation, it's because you need to have control of what you're doing. So, and then, like you said, you're gonna get drunk, stay home.
Yeah.
Get
exactly.
drunk at home and whatever.
Ryan?
You know, I actually work in the insurance industry, and it's funny you should bring that up because it's really a hot topic that the whole industry is trying to figure out how to rate policies and who should be found at fault with all of these autonomous cars that are getting, you know, smarter and smarter and smarter. But I think in the end, you still, by definition of what is instructed, at least in the insurance industry and the DMVs and all of that, you still ultimately are responsible for control of the vehicle. And you should be able to take control of that vehicle in a moment's notice should something go on.
Yep.
So until we get to the point where we're freaking iRobot, you know, where the car just does itself and is so smart that, you know, you don't even have a steering wheel. I think, you shouldn't drink and drive in these smart ones. And I know you were talking about seeing something about them getting video game options or something like that in Teslas, which is just as distracting.
Next.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's like, those people who get, and I see it out there all the time, and I always shake my head because I've actually dealt with people who have gotten into accidents because they get that little machine that connects via AirPlay or Android or whatever, and it overrides the system software, and they can put Netflix up on their center console, and they're watching movies, getting into accidents, and then, well, the car didn't beep. It's supposed to beep when it's doing a lane change and stuff like that. So, yeah, you still ultimately have to be able to take over at a moment's notice, and therefore no drinking, no gaming, no watching TV while you're driving, for sure.
You're the one inside the vehicle, so you are responsible for it, no matter what.
Because like for me, I'm a strong believer. You have one drink, even a sip, you're done. You're not driving that night.
Yeah.
And exactly what Ryan mentioned, that's where I was drawing it off of, because this past Monday on my way home, I was listening to one of my local radio stations, and they were talking about that Elon Musk is trying to video game systems into the in that mode. And I'm going like, what? How on the road is that safe? Meanwhile,
He doesn't drive, so why do he care?
Meanwhile, it doesn't line with, because if you can do that, then I'm going to start questioning more on, can I take it out, have some drinks, and have it drive me home? Because you can't say that's not safe, but playing video games, safe. So it just had me asking a whole bunch of questions to myself, because, every so often I do ask questions, and sometimes I don't even have the answers. And it just keeps going around and around. And when he's in his job, sometimes it's like that, just asking questions around, like, why?
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yep, absolutely.
So, like, it just had me curious, like, and of course, with my nephew a few years ago, he was, and they will give you some bizarre answers. And it was interesting to hear. Now, I can't remember his exact answer he gave. It was interesting. But yeah, I stand strong with, you have a drink, you're not driving. And I've seen that two others have joined into the chat. Cheryl from Cruising Anytime.
Cheryl, if you didn't watch my premiere tonight, you need to watch it. I talk about Jeremy a lot in that one, because that's where he started to FaceTime me. So I started putting it into his face that we are having GG's, and then the chocolate and strawberry swirled ice cream, and then the burritos from Blue Iguana. So I called him out a couple of times.
Uh-oh.
Yep, he loves his Blue Iguana, and I see Real Outdoor. Welcome.
Real Outdoor.
But, of course, the chat. Weigh on in on any of the. What are your guys' thoughts and opinions on the topics that we've talked about so far? And if not, come join us up on the panel. It's an open mic night. We have it once a week. Once a month. Let's rephrase that. A week.
Chicken burrito. Chicken burrito. Chicken burrito.
And it sounds like Cheryl just finished watching it. And they got the chicken.
That's right. I still think that that one is my best composition, is Eddie's Max Headroom chicken burrito song. I still haven't topped it. I haven't gone back to try anything else yet because I was just like, it's
Don't
genius.
change it.
Yeah,
What are
right.
you talking about?
Genius.
Leave it alone. Shit. That one's, it's all me. That's it.
Yep. Bamanola, welcome on in.
¿Qué pasa, Billy? What do you mean Alice Lucas in Josery? Alice is not even here. What the? Ma, come here.
Alice
It's
is
like
in the
Mel.
chat.
Every time they see me, it's like, hey, Ryan and Mel. Or hey, Mel and Ryan, even though Mel's not here. Nothing. I'm just
You're getting
saying.
called out in the.
You're not even here, and people are already talking about you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mel said she's working like a dog because technically, after next week's Bon Air episode that I cut, is her next episode that she needs to finish cutting.
What do you mean working like a dog?
I'll do this and then you do that. All right. Cruising Chris, to admit I wasn't the smart one when I was young. Never got into trouble, but definitely wised up and mannered. No drink and no drive.
Say I almost, but I thought I did actually start, but then realized this isn't very smart and pulled over and called CJ. Mel and I, it's a funny story how it started. Mel and I, when I was with the pipe band in April, is when we'd have the Highland Games where we actually competed and performed. And then in November, we had the Celtic Festival that we just, volunteered. And the pipe band would always volunteer for the beer carts, in November. So it was supposed to be my time to drink and have fun and then Mel was supposed to be the driver, but people kept on bringing us drinks and she kept on drinking as well. So both of us were not feeling any pain. And I started, after 45 minutes of sitting there, I was like, okay, I think I'm okay to drive. And then within about a block, I was like, no, I'm not. I pulled over again and I called CJ. And, I love him to death. CJ's the kind of friend that I was like, hey, we ended up drinking more than we could and we need an Uber driver. He's like, I'm on the way. And literally within 5 minutes, he got in the car and drove down to Dunedin to get us. So it was one of those, thank goodness I made the right call after about 2 seconds before I made it out on the road, because it would not have been pretty, I'm sure. And that's always the worst, when you think I'm fine. And you're really not.
Yeah, because I'm not going to say every morning on my way into work, but pretty close to every morning, I see a sign, barely high is too high.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to drive the message out about, even though if you're high, that's still enough to hit with that DUI.
Yeah, and that just would not be good. And that's the other thing, because I was still working in insurance at the time, and I was like, "What am I doing? Pull the hell over!"
And lately, I've been watching a few of the Mackenzie case. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the Mackenzie case, where she was hove into a brick wall with her alleged boyfriend.
Oh, I heard about that. I heard about that, yeah.
Yeah, she was 17 years old. I've been watching that periodically off and on. And I personally believe there's more to it than what's being told.
Mm-hmm.
But I wish the best to the families, and I feel bad for the ones that lost their lives.
Yep.
Yep.
Back with Cooking with Chris M. I always told my kids I would come and pick them up, no questions asked and no questions/lectures. I just want them home safe. I
Yep.
Totally agree.
So I told my daughter too.
Because basically, I'd rather you park the vehicle, and if I can't come pick you up, we will find a way to go home and find a way to retrieve the vehicle the next morning. Or come just pick you up and get you home safe.
Yep.
Because as Ryan can probably indicate, and I know Eddie would definitely vouch for the statement, one can basically ruin your entire life.
Oh, big time.
Yep.
Because
Yep. That one decision can be just traumatic.
20 minutes of pleasure could give you 20 years of hell.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotta
You're
do
doing
with
a live in 30 minutes, Eddie?
Yes.
yeah,
The usual suspects, like every Saturday night.
Oh, yeah, duh.
yeah. And in 30 minutes, we will go with Lugo Studios.
See,
Flag thrown.
And of course, Nightbot is also promoting. Please do not drink and drive. Arrive
Yeah.
alive
Arrive alive.
to where you're going. I'm a very big, strong believer on that.
listen, there were many times where I went out drinking and I woke up on my bed the next day and I still don't remember how I got home. So, and I was driving at the time. So, and I still don't remember, what happened the night before. So, it was bad times back then.
How strict is Carvo with their boarding times? Me personally, I find they're pretty relaxed, but I've only done 2 Carnival cruises, so I'm not too experienced with Carnival. I pretty fuck up and they just take me. But Ryan, what do you say?
They seem to be pretty lenient. I'm platinum, so no matter when I show up, they let me in. So I'll have that until 28? Yeah, because they're starting the new program in 26, and then I get 2 years, so I'll have it until 2028. But I've only been on 2 Carnival cruises post-COVID. The Mardi Gras, which was 50% capacity, so we just showed up, and again we were platinum, so pretty much we sign up for the earliest time slot, and we're always there right at that time or a little later. So I've never had any kind of turn around and not be able to get on the cruise. They're just like, all right, come on in, and then you're on the waiting game, in the little platinum area of the waiting room until you get on. So,
Eddie?
I've been locking up every time we try to book the first shot in, but no matter what, every cruise line that I've shown up to, I do get wheelchair assistance. So once they're available to take me in, they take me in. So it doesn't really matter if it's on time, a little bit later, before. So it's been good to me because, like I say, once they have the available person to push me around, because they will not let Alice do it. It has to be an employee from the port to do it. And then I get handed over to a employee from the cruise line once I get to the elevators after I pass the whatchamacallit,
the ramp.
Yeah, all the stuff. Once you pop into the ship, then I'm handed over to cruise line employee, and then they'll keep going. They take me to the master drill, do that, and then once I'm set, they take the wheelchair away, and I grab my walker and keep going. So I mean, I'm not complaining. I know there's been a few times where I've been a little later from my check-in time, but I don't mind it at all. we're not going anywhere. Ship's not going to leave me, so doesn't really matter. But yeah, it seems to be okay. It seems to be working fine with me.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
Like for me, like I do mainly all my sailings with Norwegian, and basically as I show up, I'm
Yeah.
pretty much walking on board.
Yeah.
So
and
doesn't
it's
matter what
like
time I spend.
usually handicaps and assistant people are always walked in after the platinum and diamond, whatever that section goes in, and then it's right there. The handicapped people, we all go in right after, so like almost following
Yeah,
them too. So it's not bad. It's not bad at all.
yeah. And I was saying that she's platinum too, so whenever I show up, they let us go whoever's in my party.
Yeah,
So
and Cheryl also
but
takes a wheelchair, so I seen her go before me, and then we meet in the ship after. So
yeah, and I've
not
seen
too
that
bad.
Canadian Family Life has joined us on in. Welcome on in.
Tiffany,
Tiffany.
How you doing, Tiffany? And then Mr. Jeremy Boucher has thrown a would you rather question, rather Oceans or the local?
I love O'Sheehan's. I love that place.
Oh,
That Irish feel to it. It's amazing. I love it. I mean, the local is great too. It's more of a restaurant type look to it, but O'Sheehan's is that Irish pop feel to it. I really like it.
yeah. I'm about Oceans. I like Oceans better than the local, but the local's good too. But like Eddie said, Oceans, it just has that Irish feeling to it. And just my personal, which one would you rather? Or have you done Norwegian yet?
See, I have not done a Norwegian. My first Norwegian is going to be Booze 4.0.
So you be hitting the local.
You'll be handle,
Uh,
yeah, the local.
Don't worry, we'll get you a nice first night experience, and then after that, you're gonna be like, "Oh, wait a minute
You,
now."
you, you'll be hooked.
Well, from what I understand, I'm getting a gold medal for some sort of go kart race that I'm beating Eddie in.
Well, to what I heard, you won't
Whoever
be
gave you
racing the
that
best,
drink, tell them to take it back.
Ryan. To what I heard, you will not be racing the best of the best.
Okay.
Right.
Wow, man, that's shade to both of us. Holy moly. Those are
But,
some fighting words. Someone get a screenshot of
but,
Eddie's face.
but you will be making sure that Mr. Comes in last place.
That's the guy that's sneaking out, the wimping out of the cruise.
Wow, that's because I traded my 7 for a 12-dayer.
See, he wimped
Yes.
out.
I'm running after my
He
status.
knew he had to run because he had no chance, no
Yeah.
shot
No,
whatsoever.
I
I was
need
gonna
to
take
take care of some status.
that Canadian license and throw him overboard and him with a cart too.
But Manola is saying, I am Mojo Royal and Celebrity and a couple of MSC, but will be doing my first carnival later this year. So, yeah, no, I've had no issues getting on carnival when I show up.
Chris, which NCL is gonna be your first in April? Which ship?
Yeah, I can tell you, I've only been on one NCL ship, and that was a ship tour, which was the Aqua. And I can tell you, at least main dining room was delicious. It's probably the second best food I've had on a cruise ship.
Hudson's?
Yeah, Hudson's was great. But I've done 2 ship tours on Princess, one on the Caribbean Princess and one on the Sun Princess. And both of those I had different meals at both. But both of the main dining room was like that much of a step down from specialty restaurants on Carnival or Royal. I mean, it was almost specialty restaurant quality from what I've had on other lines, and that was just main dining room. But yeah, Hudson's, when we were on the Aqua, I mean, it was great. We had a nice little sampling of a bunch of different dishes.
Yeah.
They had an interesting shepherd's pie. It was a turkey shepherd's pie versus a meat shepherd's pie. So that was interesting.
Yeah, and Cheryl likes the hot fudge chocolate sundaes
Oh boy.
from the local. Can I give you a little hint, Miss Cheryl?
Ooh.
It's also at the Oceans too.
Yeah. No, she knows.
They have it
She
too.
knows. Boy, once they find out about that thing, forget about it. They order every night. She makes sure that we went to the local that night, every night, just to get that.
Yeah, once you find something you like, it's like, oh, we got to have it.
Yep. Angie.
Yep.
Hola.
Welcome in, wherever floats your boat.
Angie.
And Cheryl saying, get up here. Rob changed the cruise because he was scared. Yeah, no.
Wow, she's throwing shade at you now, Rob.
No. Yep.
So with all this shade Cheryl's throwing, I'm assuming that she's throwing the shade because she's going to be racing with us, right?
Yes.
I think so. But of course, once again,
oh, did you guys hear that? Did you hear that? Let me.
All I heard was puff puff.
Have you seen
did I
Mud
hear? Oh, hold on one second.
Go ahead. They put us center stage. Go ahead.
Okay.
Give your shade.
One more time.
Give my shade. There's no shade to give. I'm just gonna win it.
Wow. So we better be careful. She's talking some smack.
I have a target already. I acquire a target.
Back now too.
I'm gonna bring my laser beams and I'm in command. Bless you. So how's the scoring there, Ryan?
We are winning 14-7. We got like our third and fourth string. I don't even think we've played any of our first string people in the first two games. I'm sure next Saturday we'll actually have a little bit of our first strings playing.
Yeah,
Okay.
And Jeremy's saying Hudson's was his favorite in the MDR on the Prima.
Okay. Mm-hmm. It's nice, nice restaurant. Alice got me a birthday cake, and she went and got it and brought it to Hudson's. We all had a nice piece of cake, and then the leftovers, I told the waiter, "Come here," and he grabbed like half of the cake. I say, "For you guys, go ahead and have a bowl." Man, he was happy as hell. Like, hell yeah! Nice. He's going on that getaway and then the breakaway. Nice.
Nice.
All right. You're gonna get she hands on both.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been on the getaway, but I've been on the breakaway.
Getaway in March of 27. Both ships are really good. I've been on both of them.
Mm-hmm.
As a story to me, if you haven't heard yet, check out one of my previous live streams. A lovely airline that I love to go called American Airlines. And we will you find out that story.
Yep. Yeah, I've got Mel and I are looking forward to the next really 2 years because we've been exclusive, like you guys know, to Royal and Carnival, forever. And so starting this November, we've got, the World America in November, and then we're on the Resilient Lady in February. And then we've got the Viva in October next year. And then we're planning right now, it's either going to be a Princess or a Holland America. I think we're going with Princess, but we're doing a British Isles 12-day is what we're looking at
Oh, bloody well.
in September of 27. And I think it was on the Majestic Princess, I think is what we were looking at. Either that or one of the Holland America ones, but I don't know. I'm leaning more towards Princess than Holland America. Plus, I love the 12-day itinerary we saw, hitting all the main sites in Ireland and then popping over to see all the main sites in Scotland, and then 1 day in France, but within drive time to get to Normandy or Paris. So it's a pretty darn good itinerary.
Nice.
And then we're going to definitely work in another. I know, Eddie, we were talking. We're going to try to work in another shorty on the Carnival Paradise to go to Celebration Key, just like a 4-day or something like that. 3 or 4
Let me know
days.
about that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
So we're just keeping our eyes open for some good deals on that.
Well, I don't know. You guys know there is a cruise on MSC Fantasia that Jeremy and Cheryl are doing in October 2027.
Okay.
And Alice went ahead and booked it also. So we'll probably be, hopefully, we'll be hanging out with them. We are flying into Spain 2 days before, so I could finally set my foot on Barcelona, and then do the cruising with them. And we're still working on what we're gonna do after the cruise. It all depends on Alice's decision if she'll retire or not. So
Right. That's cool.
it's looking.
We definitely won't be able to score that one with you guys since we're the month before we're doing that huge 12-day on Princess, more than likely. I keep on saying Princess, but that's just because that's the one we're eyeing more than the other ones right now.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on that one, but I'm not officially booked on that one. It all comes down to this,
Yeah.
because I would love to be on every cruise I possibly can be, but unfortunately, this sucks a lot more.
Yeah.
But one cruise I know I definitely will be on is this one here for Justin's 40th birthday, from April 3rd to 10th, 2027, on Manager of the Seas out of New Orleans. If you need assistance booking with it, contact Rob with cruisebrothers@gmail.com or 409-401-1911, and he will get you booked.
Okay. And I heard that you personally know that guy too. So
Yes, I personally know him. He's an amazing. He even watches your booking for you. And if the price goes down, he'll get you that lower rate. That's how great he is.
no, Jeremy, no, don't do it again. No.
And
it is.
stay at
No,
La
no.
Cosa incorrect now. Yeah, no. That will not happen. If that does happen, Jeremy, please do me a favor. Contact the you know what, and you know what.
Might as well contact the FBI before you go stay there.
You should. Chris M is saying flights are killing me right now. Just booked our flight for March 26th. He already noted. Yes, flights are not cheap.
That's why here we drive everywhere. Or our cruises, or I'm driving. So no matter what.
And Anthony on the move is saying to Jeremy. So I think Anthony wants to stay there.
No, Anthony lives in the area, I think, in New Orleans.
Yeah,
If I'm not mistaken.
remember, he's not too far from it.
No,
No, I
it's
already
only a
have
half
one
hour away,
hotel.
but
It's not confirmed that's hotel in mind. That's not too far from Bourbon Street, so it's within walking distance. And then in the morning, just jump in an Uber, a short drive down to the cruise port. But for sure, it will be a fun and a great trip for Justin's 40th birthday party. And of course, Nightbot is also promoting the 2,000 subscriber countdown, and I'm only seeing 120 away. And it'd be great if I hit that by 450. Anthony says, stayed there once. I'm 5 hours north of NOLA. And I think he means he stayed there once, and it's going to be once only. Because I haven't met one person yet that has actually really enjoyed their stay there. So, but with further ado, we're going to play a couple of promos before we wrap on out here. So if you haven't yet already, and you are interested in joining on Boost 3.0, here is the promo.
The Booze Cruise 3.0, hosted by Rob from Cruising on the High Seas and Travel. Ports of call: Costa Maya, Mexico; Roatan, Honduras; Belize City, Belize; Cozumel, Mexico; out of Tampa, Florida; Costa Maya, Mexico; Roatan, Honduras; Belize City, Belize; Cozumel, Mexico. Aboard the Grandeur of the Seas out of Tampa, Florida. Sailing October 25 to November 1, 2025. Book today for this amazing sailing with any travel agent.
And of course, she is referring to the Laquanza. She'd rather eat chipped glass than stay. And Chris is saying Chicago to Canaveral, get off work 3 p.m. Friday. The departure Saturday on a drive. Not gonna try it / risk it. Still working. Wife and I are both educators. So, yeah. And Mr. Eddie Lugo is now saying yo, 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 both ship same class. We are on the Aqua in November, Viva of October 06, been on the not the ghetto yet.
Hey, Eddie, do you like cigars, or do you smoke cigars at all? No? Okay. I was going to say, there is this unbelievable cigar bar on the Aqua, right before you get to Hudson's on the left. It was, I don't too much, but every now and then Mel and I might have a stogie.
Check that out.
Not for me.
It's not like, something that we do all the time, but like a couple of times a year when the time's right, or if we're on a cruise, we might, sip some bourbon, or me sip scotch and have a cigar.
Yeah, I used to smoke when I drank a lot, but just to puff it and wake me up. But I never really got into the smoking habit, and I don't. So once I quit drinking, that's it, done.
No, for me, the one thing on the alcohol I'm looking forward to when I get onto it is the water launch coaster.
Yes, that looked amazing. And surprisingly, that's free. So there's no cost for that launch coaster. And they actually charge you for mini golf. But doing more research, it's like super high tech mini golf, like to the point where it automatically scores you and your ball has a little, chip in it.
Yeah.
So it kind of tracks the number of strokes that you make and all of that.
Oh,
Mhm.
cool.
That's also on the Getaway, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah,
Say,
Getaway or
some of the
breakaway.
best cigars we had, Cheryl, we got them right off the ship in Curacao. They had these little, vendor stalls, like a straw markety kind of area that had a bunch of different cigar shops.
But
And
I'm just
then
going
when
to
we were
wrap
in
up here.
Barbados, we did
I'm
find
going to
one where
wrap
they
up
were
here
hand rolling.
quickly. We are doing hitting cost of cruising. So
Nice.
be next week's topic for next week. And of course, I'll be coming on live again in about under 4 minutes for the usual suspects. So I'm going to wrap it up on out here so we can all have time to get ourselves a fresh drink.
You're both
And,
invited to come over. I know Rob
usual-
is, so Ryan. If you want to stop by,
So
go
thank
ahead.
you all. Thank
All
you
right,
all
I'll
for
have
coming
to see
by.
because I know Mel had stuff she wanted me to do tonight. We're rearranging a room, so I might, if I can, but if not, I'll definitely have you guys up on the screen watching.
Right, cool.
Yep. So thank you all for coming on by, and we will see you hopefully in the unusual suspects. So until next time, I'll see you all high seas or wherever travels may take us. Till then, bye for now.